Yes, we have got an absolute belter, by the way. Martin Compston. I'm sick of listening to footballers talk pish, so we've got the main man on. How are you, mate? All right?
Oh, I'm delighted, mate. Cheers for having me.
I need to say you're only my second favourite actor.
Who's your first?
Curly Watts.
I thought you were going to say Paul Slane.
No, he was pinball in Sweet 16. Are you happy to see him doing so well?
Somebody found him.
Other non-footballers have had on John Higgins and Jim White, so you're in great company there.
Aye, John's a great guy.
But you've had him on toast, tell us though.
I said no, just because at these charity games, me and John played one at Celtic Park, and you usually have a wee soiree the night before, and I wasn't in the best shape, and maybe John's kicking on a bit, so I just stayed close to him for him to get a ball and just ran him.
Did you beg him?
I did once, aye. And then, but who was the big goal? Who was the big guy in goal? Barry John Corr.
Oh, Barry John Corr.
Aye, he broke my heart, man. I was through. Twice he saved an absolute cracker for me.
I bet he was a good keeper. He was Celtic when I was a young boy as well. How were your celebrations at the weekend? Obviously, Celtic.
I'm still suffering. But it was. I mean, these are brilliant times, man. And I was right lucky that this is the first time I hadn't seen all my pals for Greenock all year, so we were lucky enough, and that's one of the things with this job and stuff you get. Like, we were not lucky enough to get a box, and just 10 boys for Greenock going mental. Because I remember all the bad times as a Celtic fan growing up, and I think Lenny, when he was saying that the other day, there is. Spoiled's not the wrong word, but there's a generation that have just known success. You know, I mean, I still remember us getting beaten in cup finals after Raith Rovers, and so to go 3 on a bounce is immense. And I mean, hopefully we'll go at it again next year, but you might never see it again.
Happy Lenny's got the job?
Because I think people need to remember as well, this isn't his team. It's maybe not his style. It was a sickener to lose Brendan, and I think he was a phenomenal coach. I mean, the improvement he made on players who were already there was unbelievable, but the one thing you can maybe question him is recruitment a wee bit at times. Whereas Lenny's, some of the players he's signed over the years and the teams he's built has been so. I think he needs backed for sure, but I think now that he's got it full time, and I think as well. I mean, everybody knows it's all about 10 in a row, and so I think he knows what it means. We can't have somebody come in, because if somebody comes in, you've got to give them time to build their team and sort of. They might not understand the sort of significance of it, because I can't see he's going winning another 8 in a row anytime soon after this. So I think we've got to go full tilt at it. Do
you still follow it in Vegas every Saturday?
Aye, of course, man. I've still got my season ticket.
Do you? Right?
Aye. There's a group of 40s. It's 40s more kind of chip in Marys. I've still got my season ticket. Kept it. That's actually one of the trophy day was the second game I got to this season. But no, Vegas is class with it, because I've got a couple of pals out there who are Celtic fans. So. Well, when I was in LA, it was probably merit, because the big games, unless it was Europe, it's usually at 4 o'clock in the morning kick-off, and whereas it used to be you'd be out all night and staying up for the 4 o'clock kick-off, now it's getting to the point I'm setting alarms and stuff. But the treble last year, the cup final started at 7 in the morning, and I was out with my mate Gianni Capaldi, and then we were out all day, and then we had a fundraiser for Big Randy Couture. The big UFC boy, I fell through the door trying to get in, and my missus has got one of them camera ring things installed. That's been the bane of my life, man.
Amazing. Right, Euro 2020, you've got an ambassadorial role.
I have. Easy for you to say. I'm just chuffed to be involved in it. I think as well now with Stevie Clark involved, there's a whole new kind of hope and kind of optimism that we might be there as a team, but one way or another we're going to be involved. I think it's the anniversary, so what they're doing is there's 12 host cities, and Glasgow's been chosen to be one of them, so I think we've got 4 games. And I was lucky enough to be involved in the Commonwealth Games, which were here, and the fact is these things don't work without the volunteers. You know, they're sort of lifeblood, they're the thing that keeps the whole thing running. So the volunteer programme was open to everybody over 18, but what we're really trying to get is sort of football-minded people, you know, people that wash the strips and drive the buses and kind of people that do it every week, because we've got a chance here to show not just Glasgow, but Scotland to a global audience and just show the kind of passion. Because we're always going places, you know, with the Tartan Army, we haven't been going many places the last 20 years, but we've got this great reputation worldwide, so I think it'd be good to show that we can sort of put on a party and keep people coming back. But I mean, I'm just chuffed that we're going to be involved in any way, and hopefully the people coming involved are going to have a great time, because if anybody volunteering across it, they're going to have a great experience.
Brilliant. Obviously you're a top actor now, but what was the dream growing up? Was it football or?
Celtic, that's all I ever wanted to be. I mean, I think all we did is what I was lucky enough where we grew up, there was a kind of big field in the middle of all the houses. So every day after school, that would be the first thing you do. You just drop your bag and go down the field and have a kick about. That's all I ever wanted to be. It was kind of, we Where I grew up actually as well, you spoke about this quite a lot, honest, but street football, but we had a right good standard, a player, you know. Right round my area, you know, was wee Craig Malloy played with St Mirren, and his big brother Tommy went with United, and so growing up we all had, it was a right good standard. In our school team, I think 7 or 8 of us were signed pro youth. So again, that's all we did all day, and then, I mean, there was times as well though it was maybe too much, because I think you might know it yourself, like always have got that always good slatters disease, always have got it because you're just playing on them gravel pitches, but you'd be training your school team, your club team and your pro youth team, so there'd be times you'd be having 3 games that weekend, but I loved it.
Was acting ever a thought back then though?
It wasn't something that I always loved films and stuff, but it was never something you take serious, like for where we were. I mean, you didn't want to, because my teacher always used to get me try to be like a dame and like school pantomime, but I had to get leathered. You know what I mean? So it's the first thing. What really changed my mind was this was before like the Sweet 16 that thing came up. My father loved. I wouldn't have known it's Ken Loach, but my father loved Kess. You ever seen Kess? The football game and that the teacher running about. So my father just had that on repeat, and then just by mistake, me and my mate went on this double date with a couple of lassies, and we missed whatever we were going to see, and we ended up seeing My Name Is Joe, and it was the first time I'd ever seen people on a big screen who spoke like me. You know what I mean? And I could see, I could relate to them people. I know these people, and it just changed my whole idea of what cinema could be. And then, like a year later, there was these auditions at my school, and big Gary Hartons, big Jeevesy's.
What a man.
So Gary's dad, Joe, was our school football coach, and he just came to me and said, "There's these open auditions, and they've gave us a description of the boy they're looking for." And he says, "And I think you'd be perfect for it." I says, "I think you should go and have a go at it." So me and my pal went along, and I didn't know, again, per se, like who Ken Loach was, but they just says it's the guy that did My Name Is Joe, and he did Kess, and I went, I thought I could do it.
Kess is the one with the school teacher.
School teacher played the football game, his class, isn't it?
Did you hear a couple of youth team coaches like that?
Aye, well, we all did, man. There's because we were talking about when they were asking me about doing the Euro ambassador thing. They were saying, like, is there any characters for Greenrock and Stores? And there was this one, there was a legend, Reggie Scorer. I don't know, what would you call Skidging when you didn't go to school? What would you call it? Bunkton, aye. So Reggie was a school truant officer, so if he caught you but you could play football, you had to sign for his team and he'd let you off.
Brilliant. Who Celtic fan did you say growing up? Who was your heroes?
Probably in them days, Paul McStay.
What a player.
Aye, John Collins, obviously. But I mean, it was mad. I think Paul, especially because he could have went on to better things, and he was just a Celtic man through and through. So that's how we loved it. Again, I remember he missed that penalty in that Raith Rovers Cup final, and it was heartbreaking. And then, so I think, I mean, that just shows you how far we've came. Like I remember that cup final that year against Airdrie, and beating Airdrie in a cup final was the biggest thing that ever happened to us as Celtic fans. And so big Pierre, and then you had Di Canio with his boots and all that, and Cadet and all that stuff. So I mean, they were class to watch. But I don't think it was until like Neil and all that come in that we actually went, right, we're a right good team.
Is that what you were though, centre midfielder, Paul McStay, John
Collins?
Collins?
That says how long ago it was. I was a sweeper.
Were you?
I was a sweeper, so I think that's...
Wait, what? Were you still quite small?
I was still tiny, but I got a small man syndrome in it. Like, you love to attack. I mean, I've still never won a header in my life, but I loved playing out for the back, and I always thought I could read the game well, and that was kind of something, like, sweeper was obviously dying out, and I think it was dying out at the time as I was going pro, and everybody kept moving me up to play like holding midfielder, and I was good at it, but I was never as good as I was at the back, and I think that was kind of something. And people are getting bigger, and you'd have. I mean, again, it's something that's maybe changed now. I'd maybe gotten better just because it's getting more acceptable to play out the back. Whereas I used to just get grief for managers and stuff saying you're going to get caught one day, and you're like, well, what about the last 2 seasons? I've not get caught, and even if I do get caught, what's the problem?
So you were one that would want to play for the back?
I did. That's all I did, because fucking strikers are useless tacklers. You know what I mean? You could see them coming a mile away. So I'd loved. So a day was try and run out for the back.
So if you're playing, if you're starting right now, you maybe.
You'd be more now, but again, that's with my I'd still I couldn't be a centre half. You know what I mean? I can play it a bit, but not at a high level. You know, and sweeper is done.
As you say, Celtic fan, first memory must be Stockton 10 in a row. First time you see Celtic
before that,
but successful Celtic team.
Successful, because I remember going. One of my uncles said this for being in the old jungle at the front, and I think the first 2 we lost one. The first 2 games I went to, we got beat and drew against Motherwell and Dundee United. And I remember Carol Muggleton dropping the ball, and Dougie Arnott scored. and everybody said I was a Jonah and I was on a band. And I never even I think it's better to David Carroll Muggleton and go that I'm bad luck.
Was the jungle as bad as they made it?
Well, we were at the front.
Right.
I mean, we were right down the front. But it was mad, like walking round, like thinking that now, like walking round the stadium to get where you wanted to be. But even then, when we stopped in, I remember, because we were doing, because I remember it was a cracking day that day. So we were down the field having a kickabout, and we listened to it on a radio. And I think, you know what it's like, when you listen to something on the radio, everything sounds 100 times worse. You know, if somebody's crossed the halfway line, it sounds you're panicking.
He's scoring a hit.
But just even at that age, the relief was because the season before was class, and with the stadium getting built and getting moved about, and you could feel we're sort of on the up again. So the atmosphere about the place was brilliant, and that was probably the first season, the season before, where I'd started going quite regularly. But even then, you could tell what it meant to my brothers and my dads and everybody, like to stop that.
Were you getting slaughtered in Greenock when Rangers were winning all the time?
No, how?
Well, like your Rangers pals, would they be slaughtering you because they
Oh,
were winning
right,
all the
the
time?
one, I've actually not seen this name. Big Tommy McDowell, big boy, stayed out the back. He's a big Rangers man. Mm-hmm. He used to sing down the back all the time. There's no Tims in Europe. You get that every day, and that's how far it's come. And my uncle married in, Jimmy. He's a big Rangers man. Well, so he's. But the tables have turned.
As you say, you were a good player yourself. Morton youth team. How did you get picked up for Morton?
I get picked up. Our boys' club was a really good team. We went to the Scottish Cup final. They gubbed off for Celtic. So Dan Fletcher was playing that game.
Was he?
Aye.
Was he brilliant?
Aye, it was class, but I mean, we were gubbed before the game. He was sitting about because we were walking out, and I think we'd the week sort of hard saw Celtic have all walked out. I think William McStay, that was the manager, and they're walking out with the strips and the hoops and that on. So we were all kind of just staring at it, because we beat one of your mob. We beat Dundee Ferry in the semi.
Right. Okay.
And then but they walked out with the strips and all that on, and I remember I was raging at this. They took up the whole centre circle. So they're in the other half of the pitch, and we've got guys running down a long jump in it. And then you'd one guy who was a sort of hard guy at school, he'd one ball, and you get the whole team in the middle, and him crossing it in. And they've all got a ball each. And I remember our manager, got fair play to him, manager, he had hanging time, but I remember him saying, look boys, just try and not get hammered today. And that was a team talk before we went out. And then it took us to half time when we were already about 3 or 4-0 down, going, I mean, they're a better team than us, but going, these are near that. Good. So you wish you could play that again, but then. So I was in Morton then, but then I got picked up by Aberdeen. I was with Aberdeen for like 2.5, 3 years, spending all my Easter holidays up there and your summer holidays and that was great because Aberdeen had a great. So when you're spending up there, they let you mix with the first team quite a lot. Like you train with all the Ian Jess and all that kind of bit. Dean Windass, aye, Billy Dodds.
How was Windass? Mental.
So one day we'd come in, right, and you would always tell. So we'd go out and we'd do our minibus. And the first team with their bus, and you were told, sit down, you're always waiting, the guys come out the kit and were warned, nobody messed with the motor. If you mess with the motor, you're going home and you're at the club. So we'd all be sitting on the bus, and Dean Windass coming down one day, he's like, all right boys, let the handbrake off. So we could do that, but we were like, we can't touch your motor, so we're all shite ourselves, rolling down ourselves, rolling all this car, like something, I jumped out that thing. But it was great, I mean, they were brilliant. I remember as well, Joe Miller gave me his boots. I've still got them to this day.
Because you were a Celtic fan?
Aye, because Roy Aitken was a manager as well, and Roy Aitken come over. But it was mad up there staying digs. It was one of them kind of things at first you were a wee bit gutted at missing out your Easter holidays because all your mates were kind of kicking about and stuff, and then you get up to Aberdeen and stuff. But when you were up there, it was brilliant. And I remember we were ball boys for the Bromby game.
Right.
And remember that big guy with the big kind of afro, was it Egham or something? Big Danish international.
Before my time,
And we were ball boys, and I'd got the ball for him before the game, and I pinged it over him. I got it to him, and he's hit it back to me, and I hit it back to him, and I hit it back, and he's like, come on. And then so before the game, and then a couple of other boys, so we're just before like a UEFA Cup tie, hanging the ball about Pittodrie. It was brilliant. And there was some right good players like come through with like Derek Young and all that. And Derek was a brilliant player. You could see like he was going to make it long before it, and I loved it up there. And then
no chance of signing then?
Well, no, I was captain of the youth team for a while, but I remember I was captain of a game, and I think one of the top scouts come down and we get beat by an East Coast Pride Select, and I went, that's that fucked. And then but I'd always kept in well with Morton, and I still knew all the people there. So as soon as I left them, I signed my S form with Morton right away. And then I was there I was there at Morton on and off nearly 10 years.
And it was Stevie Frail as well that was your youth team. And
So it
David
was
McPherson as well.
It was Owen Archdeacon had us for a while.
I don't as well. It's a good guy.
What a left bag guy. And then I know Young on his boy was a good player. And then Stevie Frail and Big David McPherson, Big Slim was our manager. But I mean, the Mop was a great wee club, but I mean, and with the whole tunes, when that's doing well, you see the whole tunes doing well. But I got far worse as a player when I signed pro.
You got worse?
Far worse.
Why is that?
It was just, it wasn't a good time to be at the club. There was, I think they just got down to the second division, and then we were struggling then. And I think Peter Cormack, the manager, Peter's like a legend for Aberdeen and all that, but maybe him and Big David didn't get on the best. And you know, Derek Collins was a great player. Derek Collins was your captain, and they didn't all quite go on. So you were kind of stuck in the middle of sort of this kind of power struggle was going on, and then eventually Peter got, I tell you, so I was in about the first team at the time, and Douglas just passed away. Douglas, a great man. Douglas
be a legend, isn't he?
Saved Morton. But it was him and Arthur Montford, like the legendary commentator, Arthur, the big Morton man. So they used to come at the games, and we were away to Hamilton, and we were really struggling, and we were on our way down to the third if we kept losing a couple of games. And Peter Cormack could lose it. And so we get beat. And he's like to me a bit, and Douglas had this thing that I started going down. Well, it was his club, like, so he had every right, but he'd start to come down after the games, like in the dressing room.
Right.
And Cormac hated that. And I remember he come down one day, so we were getting in the dressing room, and Cormac going to fucking lose his pocket. He knows he's getting the sack, and he's like, right, wee man, he says, go outside the door. And so he's put me outside the door, and he's locked it, and then, because he knows the chairman's coming down, so the chairman's come down, he's knocked the door, he's like, whoever's fucking out there, like, out there, I'm going to come out and knock you out. Chairman's knocked the door again. He's like, I say it one more time. And then the chairman's turned around and he's like, nobody talks to me in the Lack Club. Knocked it and ran away. So Cormac's opened the door and went, fucking you. It's like, shut Gaffer, where's the me?
Did you grass the chairman?
No, I just kept my mouth shut. I think he knew it was him. But it was a mad time because, like, we were full time, the YTSs, but there was only 3 years and then 4 years, like cleaning 40 pairs of boots near in cleaning stadiums near in. And the first team were coming in training at night, so it's a lot of hanging about. Like, to be honest, I felt more like a cleaner than I did a football player, which I think when it came to it, make the decision to go, but I mean, like, making your debut and that stuff, I mean, I made my debut when I was 17 or something. I'll never forget.
You?
Aye. So,
and all the family, didn't it?
No, we were away to Alloa. Nobody was there. Yeah, but we played, and then the last game, I come on again. I mean, we get gubbed twice. But the last game of the season, we had to win to stay up, and we were playing Queen of the South, and they had to win the league. So it was a sellout. It was like 14,000 there, and the atmosphere was unbelievable. And I remember the guy, John O'Neill. John O'Neill played with Hibs.
What a player! I know John O'Neill.
I remember him. I'll never forget him talking. I mean, so he's playing with Queen of the South. He's talking to me during the game, like, take your time, wee man, all that
Helping
stuff.
You.
Aye, and always that. But as well, there's some bastard. At half time, like, I knew what was going on, so I'm spraying balls about and that, like, thinking to track that. And there's a lot of like boys that could look that. It just fucking fell for the back, smashed. Somebody's ran on and rugby tackled us. Some fan ran on, rugby tackled us, and the stewards and that are just all laughing.
Proper rolling comment, brilliant.
I'm lying in the heap, and I went up making a laugh shake guys on. The guys tell me bolt and run back, and you know what I mean? Like, I went through like Tappy World, like, thinking this is it. Made it to get absolutely slaughtered.
What's more nerve-wracking, your debut at football or your first sort of film?
I think debut at football was a weird one because, as I says, I was playing well at the time for the youth team and that, but the club were in dire straits, and I knew they weren't going to pitch me in unless we were well up or well down. And I remember I felt like terrible with the Alloa winning 2-0 with about 40 minutes left, and they put the third one in, and I was like, "You're beauty." I'm getting on. And it was nerve-wracking and stuff, but it was just something you'll never forget it. You know what I mean? It was great just to, because in my head, I mean, it was Scottish second division football, but it was just in my head like you've done that. You know what I mean? And so the first in filming, it's just a weird thing that, I mean, I still get auditions are nightmares. Auditions are horrible things where you're just, all these kind of strangers are just staring at you, judging you, and it's not a conducive environment if you ask me to actually get best at somebody. But everything that comes with this job, stuff like this is great, like tickets for games is great, going to premiers is great, but I actually love being on set. I love my job. I love trying to make things come alive, and I felt quite natural as soon as I got on, and that's something I'll always be thankful to Ken Loach, that I wasn't shy about putting my hingy across, especially when you were filming Greenock and stuff. I was quite hingy going, well, this wouldn't happen.
Would you? Even your first film?
But that's what I didn't realise what I was doing. I just thought this was the norm.
Right.
And knew looking back, the amount of things he let me get away with, or the amount of things he let me try, was incredible. And it was an amazing start for me. But it couldn't have been a better start, because the way he films everything in sequence. You only need to learn a page at a day, and everything is guided towards get the best out you as an actor. Like, there's nobody ever in your eye line, nobody's ever wearing bright clothes, nobody bothers you, he never shouts action. So it just everything feels really natural. So then we're going on to, so I thought this is the standard. So going on to other jobs, that was difficult. Like going on, my very next job after that, we filmed the ending first, and I couldn't get my head around it. Like, how do I know where I'm supposed to be before you get to it? But and that's why you're paid to act, isn't it?
So were you acting Sweet 16 while you were still playing with Morton as well?
It worked out perfect in that I just finished my exams. I just got my Morton contract, but the auditions were at the end of the year. So I just went into Cormac, and he said, look, so I think I was only going to miss a couple of days of pre-season. Like, we filmed it in the closed season and then missed a couple of days, and he just says, you're a fit boy, you'll be fine. Just come back. And he says, keep fit, will you? But I mean, I was 17 at the time, you know what I mean? It's not like now, like you've a couple of nights on it, you're struggling then. I was fit as anything then, so he was great. So it worked out great. I literally finished filming and then went straight into playing in the Morton. Did
the boys give you a bit of stick?
A bit. Shaggy was getting me tight a fair bit, but they were all right. I remember being gutted with it, because we were doing our programme notes, and so we're all new players, and I remember saying, I don't know why, I was raging. They were like, who's your favourite actor? Not one of them said me. And I thought for a joke, one would maybe throw my name in there.
Brilliant. Did Ken Loach know about the football? Do you know that you...
Aye, because he advised me after it, actually, because he advised me not to do acting. Because he did that many people. He says, look, you've got the talent to do it. And he says, and I'll back you if you want. He says, but football's your passion, that's what you love doing. And he says, this is a really, really hard business you're getting into. I found it quite hard for a while to it's kind of funny now, because now sort of, when something goes that well, it's sort of a monkey on your back for a while, because people think you're that kid. You know what I mean? And I'm from a working class family, but really sort of, like, I never asked if I wanted a pair of football boots with a PlayStation, or like we were well looked after, me and my brother, so I knew them characters, but I wasn't one of them, you know what I mean?
So how come you never listened to his advice?
What do you mean?
When he said,
right,
go
just
for
probably because I wasn't good enough at football.
Was it that? Was that a part of it?
Oh no, well, it was just because I says, like, I remember when I made the decision, one of the big things in the decision was, I went down they'd set up a load of auditions for me in London just to kind of test the water, and this was before Sweet 16 or that come out. So, and I remember going down in that first time in London, and I would go I went down with like what I'd wear out to a nightclub. So I had like in the end days, remember, it was like a big white cuffs, so like and like suit trousers. So I was wearing like any auditions, and those guys with just t-shirts and chinos and that. So I felt terrible right away. I felt really, and there was one audition for a thing called The Royal. It was like a heartbeat spin-off. And they gave me the wrong, so I come down and they gave me the wrong sides, they gave me the wrong audition thing. And they were like, here, take them and come back in 10 minutes. And then it was like a 2-page thing about this suicidal boy having a mental breakdown. And I was fuming, because I was like, I've come all the way and you could have given me this days ago. And I went in and I was raging. And I thought they were very dismissive of me. I just felt out of place with what I was wearing. But I was really angry. And so I kind of went full pelt at it, and then my person who became my agent phoned me, go saying, I just thought, this isn't for me. I really didn't like him. She said, you got it.
Really? Yeah.
She said, you got it. Like, they want to offer you already. And I went, so that was a big wake up call. Going, well, they don't know who I am. Like, they don't know. They haven't seen Sweet 16. They know nothing's been out. So to come in and get that just off the bat, well, I went, all right, I'm all right at this. And then, as I says, Morton weren't going through the best of times. So I was just driving up the road one day and I was passing Capello, and I just went in and Big Slim was in the office, and I just said, look, I think I'm going to get this acting I cracked. And he says, well, sorry to lose you, but didn't fight too hard, to be honest.
One place you'd never get playing for Morton is the Cannes Films Festival.
Mate, it was,
How
honestly,
was it? Did you hear the trousers on you?
I got lucky because I got to take my mum and dad and that experience it, but and then at the same time, it was brilliant. I've been right lucky bringing my mum further a few of these things, my family and stuff, but same time, at age, I was like, I want to go out in the Randan here, you know what I mean? So I was wanting to go out, and there was one night we were out in this hang, and the thing is, we can. It's a level playing field, so you could be the biggest stars, whatever. But if you're in that competition, you're the stars of the thing. And we were flying that year, so we were at some party. I think it was like Prince Albert, the Monaco, and Chuck Norris, and that were all kicking about like an hour bit.
No
and, but I got luckily enough. A couple of years later, I had a film called Red Road, and we went back again because then I could take it on. You know what I mean? Because it was too much at the first time. You know what I mean? It was just, and being a wee short arse for Greenock and just wanting McDonald's and all this amazing French food and that, but it was just like there's just all these beautiful people everywhere. But again, I don't know if it's a Scottish thing or like West Coast thing, but just having a wee bit of gallousness about you, know what I mean? So because I'm walking out the car and there's just this bank, and there's one of the producers at Sweet 16 said at the time, like, we're all panicking, like going, how you want to react. I just went right up, like giving my kilt and all that. You know, I was like, this is amazing. Like, you might never get this again, so make the most of it.
Do you think the football bringing maybe helped you with that as well?
Well, not Morton. There's no banks photographers at Morton.
No, but just being gallous and bold as well.
Well, because you've got to hold your own in the changing room. I mean, I guess you've got to box clever with it. Like one of the most, I mean, you know it yourself. The most terrifying things ever is your initiation song coming in. It's brutal. So I went in and I went, well, right, I can't sing, but you've got to get a crowd pleaser. And I knew the gaffer. I mean, he was a bit older, so I was like, I'll sing a Maury. You know what I mean? And he goes, then the moon, and then the old changing room. And my mate Div, it was me, Div, and the boy Kearney. And Kearney sang Ocean Colour Scene, man. The whole fucking place was depressed. You know what I mean? Everybody sat there. And Div had an idea, he sang Robbie Williams, Let Me Entertain You. So he's like, I've got this amazing start. He said, I'm going to kick the door in, going, hell is gone as heaven's here. And he kicked the door in, and that, hell is gone as heaven's here. Yeah, and he just blanked. Like, didn't know any of the words. I forgot the words. And he just stood there, and I'm like, wait. So it's having, I think you've got to think, a lot of this stuff you think it's off the cuff, but I mean, I'd thought that planned out for days.
As you said, you went into Morton and told them you were thinking, was it a horrible decision to quit football?
It was horrible in that I knew I was leaving it behind, but I kind of knew the level I was getting at. I don't think I got much higher than Morton. I certainly wasn't like going to be like earning a good living at it. And I think just by the people I was meeting and acting and stuff you're seeing, I knew I was good at it and I knew I had a proper chance. Again, but I mean, it was a leap though, because it was leaving Morton to go and be unemployed. And because them jobs you get, I mean, they're like a month long at times. But I got really lucky that not long after it, I got a couple of jobs. So I had with Sweet 16 stuff, and that's something I'll never forget as well. Like, they paid me right. I was the lead actor in that film, but I didn't know anything about films or stuff. They could have given me anything, and I would have accepted it. And they paid me well. And then so I had a wee bit of money in the bank where I didn't need to panic. And then I got Monica the Glen, which was massive for me because it was proper telly. Did some old legends like Tom Baker and Richard Bryars, you know, like old legends, Susan Hampshire. But it was on set every day, different directors, camera angles, hitting your mark, learning your lines. And then it was like, I mean, then, Jesus, man, it was like 10 episodes we'd be filming a series plus a Christmas special. So it was like a 9-month shoot up in the Highlands. So that was my drama school. I got on that when I was like, I think I was 18, and that took me to 21. So that really set me up.
What did your mates think when you told them I'm quitting football to be an actor?
I think it's only now they're taking it serious.
Right.
They still don't take it quite serious, I don't think. But that was one of the things I loved that, I mean, my pals figure you're not got my best pals, and they're always going to be your best pals and stuff, but there's other sides to you, and I think you'll find that with people that you can't quite show or you hide for people. I mean, because growing up in Greenock and stuff, it can be an unforgiving environment, you know what I mean? But I always loved films, and I always loved reading, and I always loved like just a bit of style in that and stuff. And I remember moving to London, the first thing I got, remember them Libertines jacket, like the high military things? I loved that. Like, I always wanted one of them, but you couldn't wear one. That was the first thing I bought. And then walking down the street in London, nobody batted an eyelid.
You can do that in London.
And it's like you can talk film to birds and all that kind of thing, and you go into art openings and all that stuff. And she said I was always a big reader and I was pretty clever at school, and so I said I could hold my conversation and stuff, but it's maybe not stuff you'd want to like people in like if you'd watched a black and white film and growing up, people think you're mental. So I go into London and stuff, all that kind of thing's opened my eyes a bit.
Fuck, I wish I'd chucked the footballs. That sounds amazing. Right, you, as you say, you got Monica de Glen. Martin O'Neill's the Celtic manager. Celtic are dominating. Life's good.
Oh, mate, it was class. Well, because that was the first time I thought like we'd a right good team, and I remember the marker was the 6-2 game. I mean, but it was some brilliant. I mean, I remember the Juventus game. That one up with big Sutton
scored the ball.
That was class. But the 6-2 game, because Rangers had a right good team around then as well. And I think we went 3-0 up in like 12, 14 minutes, and it just felt and we're not the most like open guys in the west coast of Scotland, but that's when you're hugging your brothers and you're all greeting and going mental and all that kind of stuff. And I'll never forget that Larsson goal when I met, because the run. They kept going, and because we were right up behind the goal, when he chipped it, it looked as if it went wide, and it wasn't until it hit the net.
So were you behind the goal when he chipped it?
Aye, I was behind the goal, aye.
Would Larsson have been your hero for that too?
Aye, well, like, because where I was then playing, I was kind of playing holding midfielder and stuff, like, if I was, I loved Lambert and Lennon, but Henrik and Lubo, I mean, Lubo was on another level at times, but, I mean, I think with Henrik is he's sort of the last genuine world-class player, and he could have left, and he left us and went on to do bigger things, but we got the best of him. So watching him and watching that team, and obviously the teams that were putting away in the Champions League, and then the Seville hanging all that, it was amazing.
Did you ever get a pint with Henrik on it?
See, I tell you, right, so he's the one, I mean, I've been lucky in my job to meet some like incredibly famous people as well, but he's the only guy I was shaking.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was shaking when I was sitting beside him, and I was in the changing room, I was playing one of them charity games with him, and I don't know who it was, but I was in the corner, and there was somebody sitting behind me, and he just walked in, went like that, nope, picked up the thingy, tossed it. He's like, no, my shirt was next to whoever it was, right. Tossed that shirt and sat down, he's like, this is my seat. So then he was
that's the one in the corner, that's where he used to sit.
That's my seat, through the guy's strip, just sat down beside me, and he said to me, actually, they were one of the best days that we had was because when we won the Invincible treble, we were playing in the Lubo Larsson game the next day, so we were staying in the hotel with them, and a lot of these charity games I've made an arse of it because there's always a night out the night before it, and I can't have one or two. I'm too easily led. So after that, and obviously Big Roger scored, and that was a peach. But we get back to the hotel and saw the boys there and stuff, and I'm like, right, I'm not going to have one. And Henrik's like, what do you mean you're not having one? And I went, well, just to James like, get one. He's like, here's one. And then I guess but then they're all going to their kit because they can call it Hingies, and then I'm going to do it 3 in the morning.
See, when you're playing the charity games, then them ever cane you when you're not playing them?
No, they're all. The soccer ones get a bit feisty. I remember as well, was it Bruni's testimonial I played in, and he was singing, and he wouldn't get away from me. And I'm wanting to get on a bit, and Bruni was just like, every time you get a ball, I'm just going to smash it. It was honestly, it was starting to do my nutting after all.
He's horrible to play against, isn't he?
Oh, he just does. And he was hanging as well. I think they had a golf day the day before it. And he just didn't stop running. Every time I turned round, he was just there, man. I was driving at the wall.
Angry guy. He's got a head like an Alsatian when you're playing against him. Road to Seville. Amazing. Did you get to any of the away games?
I never got. So we were right in the midst of filming. I got a few of the home games, but we're filming because that was actually quite a sore point. We were because we were right in the midst of that Monica de Glen thing, and so you can't go. They hardly let you away. But I said, look, we're on this run. I think it was at the quarter-finals. So that was about 2 months away. And so the thing is with these schedules and stuff, you've got about 100 people waiting on you, like cast and crew and stuff, and to change days is ridiculously expensive. So I said, look, if we get to the final, I'm going. So I need it'll be Celtic's first European final in 30 odd years. I said, I'm going. They said, no bother, leave it ways. So we all booked up. It was all charter flights and that, so there was about 20 of my pals going. And then the week before it, the schedule comes out, and I was winning every single day, working. I was like, what's going on here? And then when he says, oh, you're after the following week for the European Cup final. I'm like, no, it's the UEFA Cup final. Oh, no, mate, I was fuming, and I was getting that point that I was going. I was like, I'm going. I don't care. I'm not hanging there. I got my mum, my agent on the phone. Like, you better screw your head. You'll get a bag, and then.
I think you do for certain.
I know, but you were just fuming because all your mates were going there, all like going like. But so we had a week booked up in Portugal and all that kind of thing. You know, it was a whole thing. And I'm still waiting on the money for it for the boy I gave it to actually. And but then they did well for us actually, because then it wasn't even because I was filming. I was stuck in the Highlands. It wasn't even if I could drive down to Greenock and see anybody, but they put on a big party for us and that, and then, but right enough, the boys, the Sparks, the jobs, they're all big Rangers guys, so they had a portal party across the street. But I mean, it was, you just felt that night for, we actually, when we did one of the soccer aid things, it was classed that a lot of them, on the bus to Manchester, so you train in London, and this year we're playing in London, but we're training up in, we're playing up in Old Trafford, and one of the bus journeys, it was me, Kevin Bridges, Jose Mourinho, and we Rui, and for 4 hours they just told us story after story, man, and it was class. And then after a couple of things, I got the courage to chin him about it.
Did you?
I was going, "You're right order on that." And then,
what did he say?
He was laughing. He was laughing. And then he's like, but he says two things. He said that's the hardest final I've ever played in. He said my boys were on their feet. And then he said some days, and I don't know how that kind of stopped me. He says, "Look, we'd have done anything to win that game. Yous wouldn't." So that's the difference.
Oh, did he? I don't know.
I know. I don't know.
I don't know.
But that's what rolling and all that kind of thing. You know what I mean? But some of the stories he was telling you. I mean, he was class, Jose.
Yeah, top man, Jose.
Oh, he was brilliant, and he done me one to one of his soccer things, right? He's so well prepared and everything. So I'd done my meniscus a couple of months before. I'd keyhole, and then I'd missed a job, and because I was playing some charity thing, and then my agent, so I said maybe it's time to kind of knock it on the head now, because I was still trying to keep in a bit. And then Soccer Aid phone call comes, and I was like, I need to play in this. And they were like, well, right, we get it, it's a big thing. So, but I didn't know if I was fit, I didn't know if I could run. So they says, come down a day early, and it was like Fulham you train with. So I come down to see Fulham physio, and they take us out, and they're brilliant, and they're taking us out, and they're running and said, look, it's really weak and whatever and stuff. Because I wasn't doing my rehab or anything with it, because I just like, I'm not playing.
No point.
And then he says, look, we'll strap it up and all that kind of stuff, and you'll get through the week. He says, and if anything, he says, you'll get to play in the game. So we go to the dinner that night, and Jose's there, and he goes, you're playing on Sunday. I was like, what do you mean? He says, I know about you, I know your thing. He says, you're not training this week, you're playing Sunday. And I went, all right. And then I kind of come back to him, and I was like, that's class. But then I started to panic, and I come back, and I was like, well, and a bit of me as well, like, I want to see him on the training pitch.
And see what he does, and how he works,
does, and all that kind of thing. And he's like, no, you're right. So we come in that first morning, so that was like the Wednesday morning, we come in to train, and he went, nope, go. And I was like, at least he's like, no, you're going in the physio. So I was in there all day, but then I was panicking. If they're out there doing something and somebody actually plays well, he might just go, he'll keep you out. So we get in on the Thursday as well, come back in, he's like, nope, you're not training today. So I spend all day in there kind of myself as well, and was like, one day you're like stuck in between Robbie Williams and all that, and I can't say, I'm scared of Shannon, just sitting there fuming. So we get the Thursday night, and he comes in and he says, the physio said you can train tomorrow. I was like, all right, I'm like, great. So I'm in the hotel that night, buzzing, and then I got my phone goes, and it's Greg McHugh, you know Greg McHugh, Gary Tank Commander.
Right, okay.
So Greg phones me, he's like, mate, where are you? And I was like, I'm in the hotel, mate. He says, you want to come into Soho for a couple of pints? I was like, no, mate. I said, I'm training, like, hanging out. I've got Jose and that in the morning training. He's like, just come in for a couple of pints. He says, I'm out with Paolo Nutini.
Right.
Paolo's a top lad as well. He's like, just come out. I was like, nope. 10 minutes later, phone goes, it's Paolo. He's like, just come out for a couple of pints. You're not going to need to do in. Just come in, it'll be fine. You'll be here by a decent time or whatever. I was like, nah. Greg phones, I was like, look, I'm not coming. And he went, mate, if you don't come out tonight, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. Right, I mean, he knows how to push my buttons. Right, and I was like, all right, I'll come for a pint. So you can have a drink down there, but not really, especially Jose was saying naughty. So I've jumped in the back of Hingy and got a taxi into Soho. And them two, I meet them two in the Groucho. And then I was like, right, what's going on? Right, I was like, and then Greg goes like, look, sit down, get a pint, calm down. I was like, look, lads, I'm not messing about. He says, right, finish this pint, walk around the corner. We walk into this wee sort of kind of den hang, and we're sitting in this wee bit. I just sit down, pours the champagne. Out walks Prince.
No way.
Prince Bruce walks out. It's just like, he's like there. He must have played for about 5 hours solid. And I think I get back in about 7, 8 in the morning. And I'm walking through, and Jose's there like that. Do you want to train? I'm like, no, Jose, I'm back in the physio table.
That's tremendous, though.
But he was brilliant, man. He was class, Jose. But like that whole week, mate, like, for somebody who loves football, like, just being in a training journey, like, Seedorf is, I mean, there's some lads that is on another level.
Well, how good he is?
Just how he controlled the entire game. And I mean, some other, like, you got Del Piero, Shevchenko, Big Yap, Jamie Redknapp, you got the England boys, got good players and that. Whenever he whacked the tempo up, when he slowed it down, he didn't the whole game revolved around him.
Amazing. We'll come to that in a bit, but just back on the Celtic. What's your best European away trip you been on one?
Oh, aye. Amsterdam's always a good one. Well, one of the first things I got to do when...
Never seen Slaney in Amsterdam, did you?
No. Hell no. I took one of the first ones I went away when I started making a bit of money. I was able to take my feather, and I flew, me, my brother, my feather out to Barcelona for a game. And it was a big game. Hartson scored, so that was some trip. Benfica was a peach because we went up to the stadium where you can still go up to where we won the European Cup. So that's open. So we're just up there having a kick about on the grass now before the game.
The European Cup.
So that was class. I've been to a few. There's some. Say Amsterdam's always a good one.
What about best day out after celebrating a win? Remember that?
The other day, probably.
Were you with Paddy McCourt as well?
Aye, Paddy's a top lad. Like, I went out. It's kind of these kind of things. You kind of meet people at these games. I met Paddy at one of his charity games and just really got on with him. And then so we film over in Belfast, Line of Duty, and Paddy's in Derry, so you're not that far away. So he said, "Come through for a night." And I thought I was a wee bit famous, but man, the Derry fella, they love him, didn't they? They love him. And he can put him away as well, Paddy.
Is there any other players over the years that you're really palling with?
Well, I've been right lucky with a few of them. I got on really well with Bruni and Katie and Griff, but it's all that thing, isn't it? Like, social media has changed all that. You can get people, you get access to people sort of right away, and Chris Commons, because he's really close pals with a pal of mine out in Hamilton. So I've had a few nights out with a few of them, and I've been lucky. Because I remember one, I can't remember what charity game it was, but I remember it's mad moments like this. You kind of go, I'd come up late and I'm staying in the hotel, and it was the night before, because I got on really well with Stan Petrov. Stan's a legend.
Top man, isn't he?
A legend. And I was in a WhatsApp group where they just started saying, "Oh, guys, these are the ones at the hotel," and it was Big Jan, Van Hessling, Petrov, Sutton, and me. And I was like, it was one of them kind of things like, oh man. And I get to the hotel and I was feeling a bit jet lagged, so I was like, my missus like, let's just go up to my room and have a quiet night. And fucking Sutton was slaughtering me. Absolutely destroying me. But no holding back. Like, I thought I'd met him yet. Absolutely destroyed me.
He could be ruthless, man. See, back when you first started, did you ever think that this would happen?
No, and it's all... I don't take it for granted at all. I really know how privileged I am, and it comes from hard work. I mean, people tells you like on sets I'm more prepared than anybody by the time's in, and I do my work. I take it very seriously, but all the stuff that comes with that, like just in the changing room the other day, like after Celtic, I've just won a treble, and you're holding the Scottish Cup. It's like mental. Like I really. I mean, I'm not trying to be over dramatic, even though I'm an actor, but I get really choked up after I walked out. That was things like that are pretty. And then running Nooks one, like I played at Parkhead. I mean, that's all I wanted to do as a boy, and I've done it a few times now. And the one after Stan's game, and I think I was just literally after playing for Ibiza, going to Stan's game, and I was in a right.
You love playing burst.
No, well, mate, that's
imagine how good you'd be playing sober, man.
And it keeps happening. Always something that always comes up. And then, but Stan's game, walking round,
that was
the walk on, and just being on it. And I've been in that walk on so many times as a fan. To be in the middle of the pitch when that was happening, it's something I'll never forget.
Ask players this as well. So, seeing that, is there like low points? Is there times
mate, aye. There's. Especially with acting, man, there's so much rejection. There really is. Like, that's how, I mean, I love going to the pictures, but it is just wazy your rejection. Like, posters of stuff you've went for and not got. It's brutal.
Well, like 100? No, 100.
Aye, mate. Like, I mean, there is, like, literally, you'll lose a lot more jobs than you get. It can be tough. And there's a couple of moments where, like, I've went, this isn't for me. There was one particular one I was just having a bit of a rough time, and and then I went for my agent said, go for it. Like, why don't, there was like a radio play or something, says, why don't you go for it, keep you occupied. And it's something you've never done before in front of a live audience. I went, I ain't bothered, and I went in and had a meeting for them, and they just wanted me to do this stupid Ned voice. And it was really driving me up the wall, and it was like these sort of middle class sort of radio producers trying to tell me how to speak. And I was I felt really offended. And then I got back in my car and I remember it, and I was just like, I was really struggling then. I was like, is this what it's came to? But again, after that, I remember going down the road going, no, I'm going to change this. Like, I'm a lot better than this. So I have had some rough moments, but I mean, because the highs are really high with this, but there is, because like, I wish you could bottle the feeling just after you get a job. Like, just when you find out you've got it. Because then right away you go, Jesus, I've got to learn this, I've got to do this. And then you start panicking about scenes, start worrying about sex scenes. Because I'm like Ricky Hatton, man, because you've got sex scenes like shit. And then as soon as that's finished, I'm phoning the Dominoes. It's mad, mate. But I've been really lucky over the years. I've got a lot better at turning stuff down, which I found really hard to do when I was younger, because like being a working class boy, like I found it hard to turn down when people are offering you money to do your job. You know what I mean? But maybe doing strippers versus werewolves wasn't my best.
Is there anything that you have turned down that you regret?
Probably not. Only thing which does give me sleepless nights at times is when I got offered the wee man and Line of Duty at the same time. Now, I knew how good Line of Duty was, but I didn't know what it was going to become. And I remember thinking years before there was a story that Robert Carlyle was going to play the wee man, and I went, I want that. I really want that, or I want to be in it. And then it didn't happen. And then it just came round and said they want you to do it. And I went, nobody else is playing that. I'm playing that. I'd be perfect for it. And then at one point they weren't working out, and my agent says to what one, if it comes to it, what one you doing? And I was saying the wee man. And Jesus Christ, man, if I'd have turned down Line of Duty now, man. But thankfully it didn't come to me. And to be honest, I think my agents, they would have, I don't know if they'd talk sense into me or whatever, but that does give me the fear now time. Like, if I had to sit at home and watch somebody playing that part, I'd be gutted.
Is Line of Duty the best job you've had?
It's the best. Well, actually, one of the best, probably the mentalist one was the Damned United. Because,
were you the Damned United?
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. The research guy's been hopeless recently.
It's, well, mind you, under the wig I was under, Michael Sheen. Jesus, you're in a nightmare with this. Man, Sheen, that's Charlie Sheen's feather. Charlie Sheen's feather.
Is he in the West Wing? There you go. I do know.
So so we were doing there, and to be honest though, it wouldn't be right to say we're glorified extras, but it's all about, I mean, it was brilliant watching Michael, like, doing stuff like there is, but you never stop learning.
That's method acting, isn't it?
Aye, but he was, like, watching him, what was great for me as a young actor to see him is because he's got all his angles on, and he was in every scene of that film. And so he's doing his bits first, and it's your long shots, your medium shots, your wide shots, and then you've got to turn it round. And there's that many of us in the dressing room, there's about another 15 things. And I remember the first AD I'm going, Michael, rest your voice, you go, I'll read in. And they went, no, I'll read for the boys. He said, they're reacting to me, so they'll react to me. And I remember at the time going, well, that's the standard. And that's, if he's good enough to do that, I'll be good enough to do that. But other than that, it was 14 boys in a hotel for 6 weeks, kicking a ball and drinking. It was class.
So see, how do you get better as an actor? Is it same as a football? You look at somebody that you
learn a lot, but I mean, I'm still thinking a lot. I'm still trying to get back to the kid I was when I was 17, because he was just fearless, and it was just all about the acting. Because as you get older, you become more aware of angles and when the camera's not on you, and sort of and there is bits you've got to conserve your energy and stuff, but there's scenes you don't quite commit to at times, whereas when I was acting, I committed to every single thing. So I think I'm pretty good at it, and maybe what I'm good at it is like I beat myself up about it quite a lot. I mean, I'm very critical of myself. I can't watch myself out. I can watch myself back once and then that's it. But I think, and I can be over-prepared, and I think I can be a bit of a pain in the arse for directors at times because I've got that many questions and stuff. But I think that's maybe coming in, maybe not feeling like, because I didn't go to drama school or stuff like that, I feel like I've got a lot more to prove at times.
This is off script, but how did you feel when you first watched Sweet 16?
Oh, I hated it.
Did you?
Aye, so we had, I didn't hate the film, I hated me in it because we were supposed to go down to London to see it in a screening, and the flight got cancelled. So William, it was Pinball, or Slaney, and Anne-Marie, who played my sister, they come down to my house to watch it. Now, they had already acted, and I thought when you were watching it, you could see that they had experience, and I thought I didn't. It took me a while to go, actually, that's all right.
So have you watched it back since and changed your opinion on it?
I think I watched it once, again, about 10 years ago, and I watched it at Cannes. Well, actually, I watched it at Cannes, and I thought then it was better because everybody was in my ear telling me I was amazing.
Brilliant. Right, back to the football. You must have loved Gordon Strachan, a wee chirpy Scottish guy.
Aye. I mean, he brought in a great sort of era of success. You can't argue with what Gordon achieved. Again, it's just maybe with him, same with Scotland. I mean, because I thought his part was brilliant, but when things aren't going well, you're just like, just give us a straight answer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like the Man U game. I mean that, because that was a proper battle of Britain.
When Nakamura
scored that free kick.
Yeah, again.
No, I was working away, but I'm a very, very, because that's what always, I'm a very, very proud Scotsman, and it's always that thing people say, like, obviously the money that Celtic and Rangers could get if they went south, but I love that we represent Scotland in the Champions League. I wouldn't want to go anywhere else. I love our league. It's mental, and it's
much more exciting.
And it's a rain. I mean, and I like even where it was the other day, and somebody's trying to put on the Sunderland game, and it was a Dundee United St Mirren game. I was like, get that off and get the Dundee United St Mirren game on. It's,
really, right?
Because it's our game, and it's what you grew up watching.
Do you go a lot of games down south now?
No, a lot. No. I was trying. I had a ticket for the Man City Leicester game, but I was working the next day and never went. But I've not been at tons, no.
How did you take it when Celtic were going through low points such as the Tony Mowbray era and stuff like that? Would that affect you?
Oh, aye. I mean, you take it because you're getting pelters, innit? And
who feel like other actors?
Aye, well, not really.
There's
not tons. There's not a lot of. I think we Stephen and
Stephen Purden and Jordan Young.
Jordan, you've had on a big Rangers man's, but there's nobody I'd really know who are like big, like full-on Rangers boys. I'm not saying it's most of the lads I know anyway are all big Celtic fans. But no, it does affect you, man. Like, I suppose it's your life, it's what you grew up with. And are
you a bad fan watching games of Celtic or not playing?
I can be, but because I can be a bit hyper, but at the same time, I'm patient. Because that's one thing I hate going at games when you know there's people haven't played who are absolutely clueless, just shouting and bawling. I remember there was one thing, got into an argument with a guy, I think with Boavista, was it Boavista? And Lennon passed the ball back to keep the ball, and some guy was getting off his nut, and you were like, what's the problem?
I think you got booed that night for passing it back, didn't you?
I was fuming that night.
Would you ever say something to people?
Aye, no, because there was that as well, and there was a member the night they booed Larson, hanging, and it was like, so there is people, like, I mean, but they pay their money, they're entitled to do it, but stuff, it can be stuff when you've got somebody beside you just shouting and bawling. Nonsense, you know what I mean?
Again, Ronnie Dial era. See eras. Did you still go to games? That, you know, like it, no enjoying it.
No, I was going. I'll know. My abiding memory of Ronnie Dial era was. So I was staying there at the time, and I'm telling my missus about this thing, and I bought the taps, and it's a magical place, and you're going to love it, and it'll change your life. It'll be with you for your life. And I took her to Ross County at Hame on Boxing Day. And I think the Green Brigade were on a band, so the stadium was empty and we drew 0-0. She was freezing and she was like, is this what this is all about? I actually apologised to her when we left.
Have you took her back since then?
Oh, I took her back, but she was on one as well, because I took her to that, and then I took her to, I think it was the Mönchengladbach game at Hame, and we got beat 2-0. And then I took her to the Cup semi-final, where, was it Musa scored in the last minute? But we'd hit a bar, we'd a goal disallowed against Rangers, and I remember looking at her the last minute when we've not scored since you've been to a game.
Same as you in the jungle.
I was like that, and then she started to panic, and then we scored in the last kick of the ball. But she's been back, she's getting it, because she'll come. I think it's me, my pal, and because we're that enthusiastic about it, and that, so she can sing "Come On, You Boys in Green" with her accent anyway.
Did Brendan Rodgers get the love back for you? That style of football you played?
Oh, loved it, especially playing out.
Like you said, you enjoyed that.
I loved it. Again, it's keeping the ball, and it's because I think if we're playing teams at Parkhead and stuff, or even most places, they're going to sit in against you. So you've just got to keep it going. And I mean, I'm not going to kid on. I'm clever enough to celebrate these phases of play, but if you do that long enough, and you're going to tire players out, and it's just getting that one wee bit of space. So no, that Invincible season was class, and there was one game actually last season. I think we were Aberdeen away, and we beat them 3-0, and we were phenomenal that night.
Played some great football. Fellow Celtic supporting James McAvoy, you say Celtic fan?
Aye, James is a big Celtic one. I was talking to him yesterday actually.
Do you speak about Celtic?
Aye, because we get a bit of hingy because he scored a penalty in one of the charity games we played. So I never hear the end of that.
Is he any good?
Aye, he's all right, James. He's not too bad. He's and he can be a bit feisty as well. Because there's an actors' game, you call it, in London. We all have a kick about because obviously not on the face, darling, and all that. And there's no slide tackles going on. There's a few years who have a kick about in London. And James is pretty good, but he's a big Celtic man.
Is he a good actor? His filth views were in it.
He's class, man. Honestly,
he's intense, isn't he?
He's unbelievable. Because when we were doing filth, I'll never forget, so I like, you need rehearsals, you really do, because you need to kind of map out what you're going to do, so when you get to set and film it, you're not wasting time. Like, but I like to hold a bit back, because I don't want to go full pelt. And in rehearsals, James is already at a 10. And then that means you've got to, you know what I mean? And there's a scene in that filth where he's about 3 different characters. I remember just sitting watching it going, I can't do that. You know, like he is something, and he's such a humble guy. So a right nice family. But he's kind of the, I mean, I'd say look up to, because he's probably the only one that's about the same height as me. But like what he's achieved and the way he's achieved it, and he kind of keeps himself to himself. You know what I mean?
So do you still ask these guys for advice on that?
I knew it again, because a few of them, like I've been right lucky. We work over here, and I've kind of but I've not cracked the American one yet. And a lot of my pals actually over here didn't get stuff here. And there's a different technique to audition in America. It's quite brutal. They've got signs in that when you walk in, don't shake hands. And it's honestly,
really?
and I remember walking into one thing, the guy went, so I walked in and I didn't know, I said, that my agent told me after, if he doesn't like the look of you when you walk in, or it doesn't think you're the right look, you're thinking that. So it was just him and there was no camera, so he came in and says, come in, store there. And then he just started reading in, but he's reading the lines, but there's nobody else in, so I'm like, there's nobody watching me act. And then he just went, cheers, just kicked me out the door.
Just doing it for his own pleasure,
just doing it, that's it.
Who else top actor? Stephen Graham?
Oh, Stevie's class. I mean, I suppose that's the thing with football player. You're a better player with better players around you. And Stephen's immense. And I've been lucky, he's been a pal for a long time.
How did you how you come as a pal?
I auditioned for This Is England to play Woody. And I got down to the last two, but Joe's phenomenal. And like I could tell that Shane and that were all cool, as I was saying. I remember phoning Shane and he went, it's between one you other guy, but I think the other guy's going to get it. I said that on my phone, I was like, fair dues.
Shane Meadows,
aye. And then, but I did the audition with Stevie, and then we just really hit it off. And then we did Damned United together, because he played Billy Bremner, didn't he? And then we've just stayed in touch, and then obviously Line of Duty and stuff.
So is that how you know Vicky McClure as well? For
No, we just met, but me and Vicky
she's
just hit it off.
Yeah.
She's class, mate. Like, she is genuinely class, and she'll be doing things with at times. Like, she'll be talking through a scene, because she can be daft at times.
Right.
And then, but she's talking through a scene, but when they call action, she just goes to another level. It's as if she knows everything inside out. Like, she's the most instinctive actor I've ever worked with. Like, she's phenomenal. But Stevie's, I've had the wee man up to a few Celtic games.
That's what I was going to ask you. Have you ever turned somebody into a Celtic?
Stevie Graham, Warren Brown. I got to play a couple of games, so they've got the whole thing. But Stephen come up with his so he's welcome back, because he came over. We're filming Line of Duty this year, and I think it's when Hearts were tap, and we played him at home. We took 5 off him, so everybody shouts he's a lucky charm.
So is he a Celtic fan now?
He's a Liverpool man, but he's a Celtic boy now.
Brilliant. We're just going to talk about Line of Duty. Obviously, it's massive, man. Isn't it? But when did you first hear about it?
I was doing a film called Piggy, actually, because he's another big cinema with you know a guy Paul Anderson who's Arthur in Peaky Blinders, the Big Brother. Aye, so Paul's an old mate of mine.
Was him and Tierney no?
Paul's dad's Scottish and his dad's a big Celtic man.
Right.
Boss has got like a Celtic cross and all that tattooed.
He's amazing in Peaky Blinders, isn't he?
He's immense. So me and him were doing a film called Piggy together, and I was doing it. So when I'm doing accents, I tend to stay in them, and I was doing it in a London accent. So luckily, that when I went for the audition, my accent was flawless. And I didn't need to think about it. And my mate, the big guy that plays the caddy, Craig Parkinson's like a close pal of mine. Like me and him have done like 6 or 7 jobs together. And he said to us, look, because I tend to I don't like reading other stuff, or I never read any scripts or watch films or read about when I'm filming, because I don't want to split my focus. And he said, look, this is the best thing I've ever read. And then, so he said, just have a look at it. And then I'd read it and I went, this is amazing. And so I just went in and only had the one audition and got it.
How did you know straight away it was going to be massive?
I knew it was going to be good. I didn't think it was going to be massive. I thought it was a bit too boutique. You know, I thought the scripts were brilliant. I thought they cast it really well. Lenny James is a legend. The boy was leading it that year. And then, see, I thought, but it took ages for it to come out. So you don't know if that's a bad sign or not. But they were just trying to find the right slot for it, because that's the mad thing. We finish it and you don't know when it's going to come out.
Right.
And it took ages, so that made me worry for a bit. And then it's on BBC Two a Wednesday night and kind of thing, so you don't know if people are going to take it, but people loved it.
You see, like footballers, I know for a fact every one of them read the paper to check their rating. Do you look at reviews and
again,
stuff like
but
that?
the problem is that you're never going to please everybody. There was one I was reading, because there was one woman that just hated my eyebrows. So every one of her fucking reviews was about my eyebrows. And I'm like, I'm knocking my pan in with this accent, working with all these amazing actors, and apparently it's brilliant. And that's all she talks about was my eyebrows. And so you can't, so it was stuff like that quite early on. I'm like, well, you can't, there's nothing you can do. I mean, what I'll probably more do is I'll read the review of the show. Like, I'll see how it's done, you know what I mean? Like the tap of the thing, what states. But if you go into it, because I panic, that's what I'm worried about with the show. I mean, I know my accent's good in it, but there's times it will go. And the bigger it's getting, the more people become accent detectives. So one guy will go like, oh, you went, oh mate, seen like episode 5, minute 32, it went, and so that gets quite...
Mate, have a day off, eh?
Aye, well, it is, but that's what people are like, you know what I mean?
The main guy's brilliant, isn't he?
Who, me?
Who's the gaffer?
Eddie.
What's his...
Adrian Dunbar,
I seen the two on the Jonathan Ross show.
Adrian's a ledge, man.
Is he?
Oh, he's
That's the first time I've ever seen him.
His partner's brilliant.
Where is he from?
Enniskillen. So he's from North Ireland, the west, but he's a big Arsenal man.
Right.
But me, him, and Vicky, kind of part of our deal is that we have to have 3 flats together. So he'll cook. The kind of deal is he cooks, we work in Vicky's and we party in mine.
Right.
So we've got like a designated flat for what we do.
So you are proper pals, eh?
Oh, I'm genuinely, they're 2 of my best pals. They're like, we've got a wee WhatsApp group and it's non-stop with them too. Because like, you spend that much time in each other's pockets, you know what I mean? And it can get tough out there. So it's good to have them around you. And I mean, like everybody else, we can drive each other mental at times, but we know how to push each other's buttons. But like Adrian's, like, I mean, he's part of his class.
Like, see, with football players, sometimes some will turn up to training like hungover and that.
Aye.
Can you do that acting now? You know what I'm saying?
No. Now and again, it depends. The problem what I'm finding is I'm getting older, whereas now I'm saying I'm not turning up hungover, but it's 2 days later and you're still feeling it.
Still struggling.
Aye, like we were filming after a pal of Josh Taylor. What was it? Josh's fight last week.
I see your pal out with him.
Aye, Josh was fighting, and then met your man Jerry Cinnamon after it, and that was class.
How is he?
Jerry's a legend, man. He's a big Celtic man, and he was class. He was playing us a couple of tunes and that. So
where was that?
Just cutting about hotels and casinos and all that till over time in the morning. Then I went to Celtic Park for Flag Day, and I was doing the half-time draw. I was minging, and but like I was not filming till like 2 days later. But you're on set, you're still like, oof, feel terrible. So but you'd never do it because the camera picks up everything. You know what I mean? And one thing Ken Loach always said to me was, energy always communicates well through screen. No matter what the scene is, if you're enjoying yourself and enjoying what you're doing, then the audience will enjoy it. And if you're not your full part and you're just kind of like weigh that, you're only 60 or 70%, it does kind of maybe take the wee bit of sparkle at your eye, you know.
Is a director sort of like a football manager?
They can be.
The ones get the best out of you?
Aye. Well, there's ones you just kind of prefer working for, you know, because there's ones that are so technical. There was one I worked with, and he would have been nameless. He couldn't give a fuck about actors. He didn't bother with us at all. He was just like, he was maybe you call it a DOP, like cameraman, and I mean he's a big director, but he was horrible. And then there's ones who you just, is that kind of that old thing, you know, you'd run through a brick wall for them. Like if they ask you to do something, like, because trust is a big thing on them sets, because you can got to go to sometimes you got to go, I've filmed some dark stuff at times. Whether it be like, I mean, the subject matter is really, really dark, and so you've got to trust people. And if they're trying to do something, telling something, they've got to know they're leading in the right direction. You know what I mean?
Line of Duty, is it opened up other doors? A lot of big things coming up.
Aye, I'm actually
the man just now.
I'm doing a thing in Dundee at the minute. Well, it's set in Dundee, but we're filming in Manchester.
You can come stay at my ma's. We'll teach you.
Mate, well, I'm looking forward to getting up actually. I was saying to you earlier, they were asking me to do a Dundee accent, but it wasn't until I played him Kyle Faulkner's voice and they panicked him like, you're not doing that on a screen.
He is proper Dundee.
He's proper the wee man. And then we're going on, and then after that I'm going straight on to another job. So it's a busy time, it's a great time, but it's that kind of thing, like you've got to keep going while it's here, because there'll be somebody else right behind you.
It's like football, there's quite a lot of similarities with football,
there is, mate. Aye.
American and Scots as well, how was that to film?
Oh, it was class, man. There was, because... Well, there's a bit at times as well, like, because the sets are that big and there's helicopters flying about and there's 100 cameras, so you do feel a wee bit at the time like you're a moving prop, but charging about the Highlands on horseback and stuff, and I fell off the horse in LA. It was me and my missus' anniversary, so I had a bit of a late one, And then I come in half-arsed at this horse and the thing just bucked me and I flew. So that was another wake-up call, like, because you can't mess about in them.
Yeah.
But I mean, cutting about your big beard and your sword and all that kind of thing. Mind you, everybody else in it's about fucking 6'3". So I'm swords about the size of me.
Just chipping their knees.
But it was, I mean, like I'm kind of things, because I always wanted to do, like, and obviously I was too young for Braveheart and sort of train spot and that kind of stuff. So I've been lucky with Filth and Mary Queen of Scots and stuff. I always wanted to do like Scottish classics, you know. So I've loved being part of them.
Would they have been the two films that you kind of religiously watched when you were younger, Braveheart, Trainspotting?
Aye.
Brilliant. Bigby's the man, isn't he?
Aye.
I can see you in a wee Bigby role.
Aye, because them things is there's things like that where the ones I can watch back is where you're not that big a part in them, sort of thing, because it's an ensemble and you're not looking. Because I've been lucky to be part of some cracking ensemble films, and I can sit back and watch them a bit more.
Right, on to the soccer aid.
Aye.
You spoke about Jose Mourinho and that. Any other memories, kind of stories that stick out? Who's the top man there? Mark Wright, did you say? Non-footballer wise?
No, non-football. See, things, but they kind of because I don't know if you actually count them as non-football. The problem you've got is, we've got the best like ex-pros, but you're only allowed 4 of them on at a time, and so all the English boys have played growing up, like the celeb ones, whereas we've got like Australians and Americans and that. Some of them have never even kicked a ball. And then last year we were winning, I think we were in 3-2 and I got took off and they scored in the last minute, so it went to penalties. And then your man, Darth Vader, Hayden Christensen,
right,
he's like, I mean, 70,000, he's like, what do you do?
Well, for a penalty
I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I've never done this before. I'm like, that's when I knew. I'm like, well, we're good then. 70,000 people, and he's like walking about before it, like, what do you do?
Was the guy from Man v Food on there as well?
Aye, Adam's a good guy. Because Jose is ruthless, man. Like, he went on. Since he went on, you've got to get on. Jose's like, back half. And then he ran off, like, clapping everybody.
So is Jose ruthless with the boys, like your performance in that as well?
Aye, mate. Because he was there. Because he says to his first thing he says, look, we're here to have fun, but he says, we're here to win. He says, my teams don't lose. And I had a right sickness, because I thought I was playing well, and then in the box, he said to us at half time, because you've got to remember, it's about raising money for UNICEF, and they've raised 30 million quid. It's unbelievable. Amazing. And the year before it went to penalties, and that's the most money they've ever lost. So they say to you before the game, say, look guys, there's no fixing or anything like that. And it says, if it does go to penalties, it's not the worst thing. So we're up 2-0 at half time, and Jose says, anything around the box, they're going to get it. So don't get anything away. So it went 2-1. And then in the box, and I thought it was a good tackle, and Kevin Phillips has took a touch at him, because in the second half it's like the celeb goalkeeper sent you hits going in. And I've just got my toe to it, and the ref's like that pen, and I was panicking because I went, I've lost us this, and I'll never forget it. And then Jose and big yaps like that to the ref, he's going to kill him, man, because Yap doesn't heed a boy, he butts it. It's like, man, like people got it was class. And then I'll never forget, because then Seedorf walked up to his lap, wee man, that was never a pen, don't worry, I'll fix it. Literally got the ball, ran up, tap bag, then ran back to his lap. I was like, well, man.
Does it ever get like naughty or that in training with tackles and stuff?
Aye, that's the only one, because Veron's, so you kind of train on your own, and Veron, honestly, loveliest guy, and I tried to peg him, and he literally just volleyed us. Did he? He's like, no again.
You tried to peg Veron?
We're in the wee circles, it was just a carry on. But he's did you both? And he went, no again. And I was like, no ball. But all the old, because you go out and get a drink with him and all that, and they're all class. Like everybody's sound on it.
But Seedorf's the best by a mile.
The way he controlled the game. I mean, there was individuals you can see. But he literally controlled the entire game.
Would they sit and tell you like football stories and that as well when you're having a few beers?
Aye, a few, but a lot of them you couldn't repeat. I mean, there was some daft thing, but it was nice. Like Jose was telling us, like Zlatan's the best he's ever played with. He's the best player, like technically and everything's the best in the world.
Amazing sitting and listening to that. And you got another one coming up this summer. Fancy your chances?
Again, I know this what I've put a hang of this as well. Last year I went right, because we knew we usually do it every 2 years, but we're doing 3 on the bounce, and I went, I'm going to get myself right fit for this. And it's 2 weeks before it, and I've not done anything. So I'm panicking, but then again, no matter how fit you're going to get, what are you going to do against Ronaldinho? You know what I mean? It's like, but I'm excited for it. And because I love the week, like the whole build up to it, and the training and all that, and just being around these guys, and even like, because like the non-players, I mean, it's Usain Bolt, man. The guy's like, he's an icon, you know what I mean? He's like Muhammad Ali. So having him about and all that kind of stuff, you feel I mean, you feel like you're in the presence of greatness a bit, you know what I mean?
See, is he quite, obviously, he's quick, but...
There's a big man, like, he's such a big, he's a legend and he's a lovely big guy, but his touch is horrendous, man. But, I mean, if you're going to have a horrendous touch, you may as well be Usain Bolt, you know what I mean? He's bouncing off him and he's getting it.
He was trying to be a professional, wasn't he?
Aye, he was saying that to us, he was convinced. He was going, and we're like, aye. And then, but who are you to tell Usain Bolt that he can't, but... I mean, he's just such an athlete, you know what I mean? Like, he took a bad touch of me once, and I got in front of him, and I swear to God, he just put his leg round me to get to it, and it's as if he just swiped me out of the way, you know what I mean? He was just, he's size of his thighs, man.
You think you'll get another chance to play at Celtic Park?
Well, see, I mean, I've got a really good relationship with the Celtic Foundation, you know, the charity arm of the club. I try and help them as much as I can, and you know, if these things are coming up, they'll give me a phone, see if there's any actors and stuff fancy it. So I hope so, but man, I've lived the dream 3 or 4 times. I'd love a goal. That would be the ultimate.
You ever came close now?
Aye, Simon Donnelly put me through a peach, right? But I remember that I had too much time, and I thought out my celebration. I was going to run into a stand and just sit there, and then by the time I had it, I panicked it and pulled it wide, man.
That'll come, mate, I'm sure it will. Right, also a big Scotland fan as well. Aye. Happy with Steve Clarke's appointment?
Chuffed. Absolutely delighted with it. I honestly, I think it's the first time that I've been really... Because there's something, I mean, when we got him, I thought that was a really good appointment. But I think this is the perfect man at the right time. I think his style... Look, we've actually got a good squad right now. We've got a good squad, but I think we need to get back to being hard to beat for the off, and that's his Kilmarnock teams. I mean, they can play a bit his Kilmarnock team. They've always got a threat going forward, but they're that organised, and I think that's what we need to be first and foremost. And I mean, my word, I remember. I mean, I was 14 in '98, and I remember thinking the next one I'm going to be 18, and that's going to be my first big trip away with boys and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to go to the World Cup because we'd just been to the Euros in '96, so it was kind of like a hang, and we've not been since. So, and with, as I say, we're doing this next year. Be heartbreaking if we're not part of it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Have you been away with the Tantan Army?
Aye, I was in Dublin. That was class, man.
Oh, the Ireland game?
Aye, the Ireland game, that was brilliant, man. I can't remember much about the game, but it was a cracking game.
Because we've seen your celebrations in LA when Lee Griffiths scored the 2 free kicks. That went mental, didn't it?
Oh, mate, well, it was just as well, because I think, see, fair play to him, because it was us there, and it's an English pub, that. And it was all the English boys were sitting there, and it was one of them that filmed it, fair play to them, but they were giving us a bit of stick during the game. Like, you're never going to turn up, you're at home, because we played all right, but we weren't a threat. And then just them two at the end, because the first one we went in it, we were going mental. And then the second one, you just had a feeling. And fair play, because we were gaining dogs abuse. Yeah. I mean, because people forget, we drew the game. You know what I mean? We didn't win it.
I know.
And then you're thinking, the one guy in that part, just Mark Harry Kane. But for that 5 minutes, man, that was some of the best 5 minutes of my life.
Was that probably one of your best moments being a Scotland fan?
Oh, aye, absolutely. Like that second one, like, especially being in a pub with England supporters as well, who were getting us it tight the whole game. So that's how I think we were maybe over exuberant.
So what did they do when Kane scored? Were they the same?
Oh, aye, a bit. But then you kind of half knew it was coming as well. It's Scotland, didn't it?
I know, exactly.
And then, to be honest, we ended up having a right good few jars after it. They were all sound.
I love how every story ends up with a few jars after it.
Well, we're going for a few jars now.
Oh, definitely, mate. Let's go. Final question. If you could make a movie about one specific historical football moment, what would it be?
It's got to be 67, innit? There's a bit of float, I mean, because again, what they achieved, and obviously what's happening now, and we're losing them now, you know, it's heartbreaking, but I mean, the men they're icons. They're basically what I was doing a bit of filming for a VT for the cup final last week, and I was standing outside the stadium on the Celtic Way, and you're looking at Billy's statue and Jinky's statue and Big Jock's, and you are in the presence of history. And because I remember one time when I had the audition for Damned United, the director had said to me, he says, because what you've got to realise, Martin, is you're playing the most successful team of that era. I'm like, no. Celtic were the most successful team of that era, mate. We won the European Cup and we put yous out.
What did he say back?
He was like, oh, all right, really. Sorry, tell. Then after I went, fuck, I'm not getting that now.
What about writing and directing? Do you think you'll get into that after?
There's a bit, I do write a bit, but it's such a discipline writing. Like, you've got to sit down, and it takes days and days, and directing, you're there first thing. So people have said to me quite a lot, because I'm quite visual in like when I come out. Like, I know basically where I want to be in a scene, and like, where I think I'd want people to be, but that's not for me to kind of say. So a lot of producers and stuff have said to me, like, to think about it, but okay, I love my job too much and it's going too well at the minute. Maybe in the future, but as I say, you've got to pre-production, film the thing and then edit. I mean, it'd take a year out of your life to do it, so it would need to be something really special.
Last question, are you going to stay in Vegas forever, or are you going to move back here?
Well, I mean, I'm very lucky with the missus that she loves it here. So we're going to be, I mean, the thing is as well, when I say I do live in Vegas, that's where the wife and the dog is, but I mean, I've maybe spent 5 months there in the last 2 years, and I'm lucky with all my work here, and I'll be here filming, I'll be in Scotland filming till the end of the year. And so she says, I've always said to her I want to raise our kids here, and she says that, but the thing is, she's got this warped image of Scotland because she was here, the first months here was during the Commonwealth Games, place was buzzing, her wedding, Christmas and all that. I'm like, darling, try it in October in Greenock, it's pissing with rain, you know what I mean?
Brilliant, mate, been a pleasure.
God, man,
Thanks
pleasure,
very much.
mate. Cheers, mate.